Welcome, returning and new subscribers. I am Goddess High Priestess Empress Alba La Pantera. We're going to get right into it, okay? Because there are a lot of messages that have been downloaded, being uploaded, that we will be discussing through this live. As you can see, I'm looking back and forth here. That could be significant also because I'm noticing that each time I'm about to start a live or a message, the last 3 days, gulls or seagulls have been appearing. And at the same time they're appearing, there are flies that are appearing at the same time. And for me, I feel like not to, could be, listen, I feel like flies on some real shit have been um, lab created. Okay. Because the way they move, it's just, you know what I'm saying? They not like bees or wasp or dragonflies. They move in a way that is, ugh, you know. But and forgive me, source, if I'm incorrect about that. If not, you'll let me know, obviously. But I'm noticing the seagulls or the gulls. Now, the gulls represent understanding what is and it not being communicated. So once at 144, okay. So as I'm looking outside my window, I noticed that a gull grabs the fly that shows up at the same time it showed up. I'm like, okay. So going back to what we were saying as far as like the nature of the fly, understanding what it is, but it's not being communicated. Understanding what is, but it's not being communicated. It's like, you know what you know. Now it's time for you to take action on what you know. Because if you don't take action on what you know, the only one that's hurting you is yourself. Okay. So 222. So we're going to get into our messages. Grand Venus Day. This is video number 13. Loving it. Let's go and get it. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of Mama Universe and Papa Universe and the energy of the infinite creator. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of my angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, protectors, warriors that guide and protect me. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of the gods and goddesses that flow through me as me, for you and I collected to use our mind's eye to see. I connect my heart and soul to my heart and soul, always in connection to the Most High. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So let's get into these messages, shall we? Yes. I'm going to pull from my deck. I had a few other ones up here not too long ago. Before we even get started, let me look at this here galactic signature of the day. Okay. Today is definitely 3-3, and this is video number 13. All right. It's feeling auspicious out here. So we have the red electric moon, Kin 29, for the galactic signature of today. And the affirmation is as follows. I activate in order to purify. Bonding flow. I seal the process of universal water with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of space. Immediately is connecting to what we were discussing in the last video from number 12 of yesterday's message, as far as the winds of change and the electricity, okay, thunder and lightning. All right. And what I'm going to do is I want to pull up a little bit more here of the electric moon. Okay. Being that is a day of the red electric moon, this speaks of your conscious self. And the red moon is the cosmic seed of awakened awareness. Consume it like a fruit and let it blossom within you. You are on the quest of self-remembrance of God's seed. If you work with the energy of the red moon with clear awareness and attention, an awakened state of remembrance will naturally blossom within you. Remembrance means having direct access to your expanded presence through an intrinsic perception of unity. Remembrance is your recognition of the larger pattern and your connection to it, often facilitated through dreams, art, music, colors, and creative pursuits. Well, that's ideal because in Pisces season, Pisces is one of the royal star as far as Pisces at the third degree, anywhere between the 21st and the 24th, 25th. Greetings, greetings. So this is definitely speaking of your ability now to bring things into reality through arts, through science, the merging of the two, okay? So it continues to say, with focused attention, meditate on red moon and you will receive help with self-remembrance. I'm telling you, these goals be going off. The last 2 days, it was literally the last 2 to 3 days that when I'm noticing I'm connecting with source or about to present a message to you all, they're showing up. And again, the goals represent understanding what is and is not being communicated. So, depending on who you are and the way that energy flows through you, this could either be a moment that you break through, or for others of you, this could be a moment where you're stepping into either depression or anxiety because you want something to be communicated. If that is you on the latter part of it, the depression and anxiety, this is definitely something you're going to have to discuss with yourself. Okay. What is not being communicated, especially if it has to do with somebody else. Have this conversation with yourself and see where it is that you continue to allow this energy around you. Because this is coming across as, the first time could have been a mistake, but the second, third, fourth, fifth, that's on you. That's on you. You constantly make the choice and decision to continue that pattern. So what are you going to do knowing that it's no longer a mistake, but a choice that you're making? Okay. So let's see. Because honestly, that literally is the foundation of arguments or debates. It's like knowing what you know, but still wanting to control, especially if it has to do with another person, wanting to control the dynamic or the what's the word I'm looking for? The narrative of another person. The only narrative you can't control is that of your own. And if what is around you doesn't fit that narrative, then obviously goes somewhere where you do, where you are accepted. I don't want to say fit in, because using that, certain people could literally be doing things just to fit in, which could also mean that you're diminishing your light. That's not what you're here for. Okay. So look at it as a pair of shoes. If it fits you, you're gonna feel a lot more comfortable in the steps that you take moving forward. If the shoe is too small, you already know you're gonna be causing a lot of issues at the base of it all. Now your spine is all fucked up. The core values aren't connecting. It's listen. A lot of this exoteric, put it this way, the spell of the world is being under exoteric ignorance. I don't even want to call it knowledge, because it's more so ignorance. If there was a balance between the exo and the esoteric, which is going with the universal law as within, so without, then it would be more so the knowledge of exoteric, and it wouldn't be so much of a spell. We have Emperor to God, Gemini, Sagittarius. Again, that is the North Node and South Node that we had prior to Taurus and Scorpio, which was all about connecting with those that you can communicate with or speak your language, and releasing dogmatic beliefs. Gemini, Sag. Emperor to God. Show me more about this here. Okay. We have paternal energy. Now these were in reverse here, but we're gonna read this upright. We got paternal, Ophiuchus the serpent bearer, egg cleanse, reclaim your power, gifts being enhanced and reactivated. You're realizing why you've been hidden, because you have a lot of greatness connected to your path. You can only be shown to the world or express this part of yourself once you realize the gift that you have. There's something here about work and career. Now, if I did look at this, so there's a condition here. If I did look at this in reverse, this could be you not using your talents wisely with the paternal energy or the authority figure. I'm getting Saturn. So this is not using the lessons that you learned. Therefore, you're not being able to see or take action on what is understood but is not being communicated. And this could put you in this loop of confusion where you're constantly doing the same thing over and over and over again. Again, going back to the first time may be a mistake, but the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and thereafter is a choice. Let me see what else we got coming through here. Okay, let me get these wisdom cards because it's Saturn. You're going to have Saturn, Neptune, the moon, Mercury, the sun, and Pisces. That's a lot of energy in one space. So it's like, I just heard mental clutter. So as far as the clutter is concerned, this has to do with imagination, illusions, things you have to undo yourself from, so help yourself. So with all these energies and all of these planets in one sign, as we approach this full moon in Virgo, the polar opposite to Pisces, there could be this sense of overanalyzing a lot that isn't even there. So with that being said, focus on a new life. Whoever you are in this message, you're more than likely surrounded by people who continuously do the same thing, insanity, doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Focus on your new life. 3 and 9, Sagittarius, Gemini. Okay? Going from an emperor to a god. So this is you realizing the I am that I am, the emperor, and where you are a generator, an operator, and destroyer in all parts of your life. Mind, body, and soul, sun, moon, and stars, or your sun, moon, and your ascendant sign, like really bringing all of that together, focusing on you. And for some of you, focusing on you pisses people off. Do not entertain that energy by feeling some type of way. See, when you observe it, you're not allowing yourself to be consumed by it, aka feeling it. Observe it. You know exactly what it is. For some of you, you know exactly what I'm speaking of. Focus on your new life. Okay? Because you've seen all that you've had to see in terms of where you're going to go, who's going with you, and who's not. And for some of you, honestly, this next step that you're taking, this new life, depends on your wellness, your health. So if people don't understand you, listen. Understand what you're here to do and bring that joy into your life by focusing on your new life, regardless of the circumstances you got going on right now. Okay? especially if you're in this position where you have to re-nurture yourself, re-mother yourself, or re-father yourself, and you could still be around them or in close proximity to them. Let me tell you something. You're going to get to a point where you realize, and this may start to happen just with your digestive system, your stomach, okay? The way you stomach things, your solar plexus. And if you don't know, your stomach has a lot of nerve endings. Some of you are realizing that when you eat from certain people, you feel one way. When you cook your own meals, you feel another way. Pay very close attention to that. This is the part where some of you may be living with certain people and they feel like you're ignoring them. No. Your mind, body, and spirit depends on the actions that you're taking here on out. Okay? Grand Rising Sistren. So the stomach is a very sensitive space. Very sensitive space. Okay? And some of you may have wounds when it comes to the sacral chakra. And right above the sacral is the stomach. So if you have wounds in the sacral area or having to do with the maternal side of women in general, until you declutter that space and heal that wound, everything that the upper chakra from that, the solar plexus, feels is always going to be like hit and miss. Hit and miss. So now we have literally, collective have reached a point where focus on your new life. Focus on your new life. Turn all these negatives into a positive. And all of these negatives that are surrounding you is showing you even clearer the bigger picture of what you should focus on. But it's very easy to get wrapped up in what's going on at the moment because you can see it with your two eyes. But the vision that you really want to focus on is this mind's eye, the first eye. Okay? Even within an embryo, you can see how prominent this space is before the baby develops. So new life. Okay. What else do we have here? And blessings. Number 22. Life path 22 or 4, highly significant. But this is speaking about you mastering your connection to the vision, 11, to now build like the master that you are because you have the blueprint. Master number 11 is speaking of you having the blueprint. Master number 22 is executing that blueprint. Master number 33 is that when you execute that blueprint and you see what you've built, you taking that action and building what you've built is what's going to help you to teach others, either through your actions or through the way that you educate them. You know, the way you got to this space. You feel me? So I know it could be rough. It especially if you're somebody who wants to help the world, like you give everybody the last that you have to assist them. Stop doing that shit. Bring all that shit to yourself now. So that way because the universe is only going to give you what you can handle. And you're showing it that you are more than willing to handle, being used. Man, fuck that. It's time to end that. And through your actions, people are going to have two options: remain the same or shift. But it's none of your business as to which route they're going to take. You mind your own business and focus on your life. Drink your water and mind your business. This new life is coming with a blessing. This new life is coming with a blessing. We're going to go into this Celtic spread soon. I'm ready to receive all that is from me and great from me. Ashe. I can't express how grateful for you and your messages I am. I have a lot of family. Show back up that thought I was demonic, but now they're dating someone who, ooh wee. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Hey, yep. That was that message from yesterday. Chop wood. Break down whatever you got to break down. But this time when you're breaking things down to break through, make sure you're cleaning it up, dissolving it all, and removing it out of your space. Because there's a lot of times where you can find yourself like decluttering or putting stuff in bags or whatever, and you still keep it there. It's another representation of sweeping shit under the rug. No more. No more. Let's look at these numbers 3922. And I'm going to pull some tarot cards off of the gematria if it fits here. Let me see. 3922. 3922 has to do with this new life and blessings. Let's look at this. Some of y'all could literally be around people who just love to complain and complain and complain. Well, now you know what their focus is. And this could literally be something as far as like mental health is concerned. Like certain people have certain parts of the brain that are shut out, which is why you understanding what is, but it's not being communicated. This is why you just let people do what they do, because they literally have a malfunction, okay, of the way the brain is set up. This shit get real deep. This is why sometimes, when you feel like you want to express yourself, you don't have to. You don't have to. I mean, there are times that you do, yes. Now, let's say when you do, it happens to be a situation where you're asked to. You know what I would suggest? You asking the person first, are they prepared for the truth? Are you prepared for the truth, or do you just want to satisfy your ego because you have something to say, because there's truth that is going to be delivered as a response, not a reaction? Because I'm going to give you the opposite. For every action, there's an equal or opposite reaction. Well, I'm going to give you the opposite of the reaction. I'm going to give you a response. Are you prepared for that response? Because once you hear it and it goes through this black hole that you got on each side of your head, just know something's going to shift up here. Are you prepared for that? If not, then whatever you got to ask me right now, have the conversation with yourself. And be brave and honest with yourself about what you about to ask me, because you want to project something. And if you know your human design and you are a projector, use that. Because you may be around people who have a tendency to say, well, you're always projecting this and always projecting that. As a projector, right now I'm just being a mirror for that person who is stating that you're always projecting this and you're always projecting that. I am a projector. So what I'm actually doing is showing you yourself, not through my actions and my words. But this is where, when you go through your shadow work, have your sleep paralysis, and you see all your demons, and you and your demons become one. See, a person who becomes one with their demons want to be away from you. Your own demons want to be away from you. You know what I'm saying? So I got you. So being a projector, you may have people who towards them, when in reality, as a projector, that is your human design, to show people themselves, not through you. I see that it's going in and out. Hmm. So once again, as a projector, you're showing people themselves to themselves. So with that being said, even if you're not a projector, you could have this ability, you know what I'm saying, where you know what you know. Just wait till you're asked. Okay. This is for those of you who know what you know. You may want to express certain things to certain people. Kind of like I told you so moment. But let reality show that to them to themselves. You don't have to be the one to do it because you are already whoever I'm talking to. You are already the eyes of source. You see how in a lot of religious doctrines they like say, well, if you don't do this and if you don't do that, then you're gonna be casted into hell or this is a sin. And let me tell you something, a sin is literally you going through a cycle, a repetitive cycle that is out of alignment of the God within you. That's all it is. So the same people that are out here talking about your sin and all this other shit, let me tell you something. They are the biggest sinners out here. Because why? They're under the exoteric spell because of their ignorance and the imbalance of the exoteric with the esoteric. As within, so without. Already going against universal law. So going back to what I was saying, when you have want to get a reaction out of you because they don't have control over their demons, meaning you do, okay? Just ask them, are you really prepared for this response that I'm about to give you for this reaction that you have? Because it may put you in a sense of sleep paralysis where your soul and spirit leaves your body in order for you to see all parts of yourself, and then it has to come back down slowly. But in this process, you're seeing all different parts of you, the shadow and the light. Okay? Can't hear me? Of course not. Yo, the hell want y'all know this shit, huh? Oh, I can hear. Oh, I can hear. But yeah, so just be real mindful of that. Let me see what else we got coming through here. It's time for a nap. Yeah, it's time to put this shit to rest. I said we was looking at 3922. You know what? I noticed that happens too. When I be looking through these numbers, they be like, oh, girl, bye. I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying right here. What you talking about? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Because I can hear myself on mine. Okay. Let me see. 3922. November 24th. Okay. So some of you, you're at a point when it comes to these holidays, HOLI and not WHO, because without the W, you are excluding the feminine energy. Let's just put that out there. So some of you are at a point where when it comes to these holidays, be mindful of the exoteric spell that is being put in place. Okay, you may not want to celebrate. Let's say you do decide to, but you do it in a way that you have an overstanding of it, specifically, as it says here, Thanksgiving. You express gratitude for where you are in your life today. There's something you do every day, but you express gratitude for where you are in your life today. And you may eat differently than everyone else around you, okay? Because you have an overstanding of the holiday itself and what it truly means, okay? You're welcome, love. Everyone thinks they are Christ because of the New Age agenda. Now, this ain't really no New Age type of knowledge. This is ancient wisdom, okay? So if any of you been feeling like you've been stuck in life with no money to get out of town, just know that this new life, as long as you focus on this new life, you will be blessed here. Then it says, I just said it in case he won't have the courage to ask me. Oh, shit. You saw how we were just talking about responding to someone if they ask you? Some of you have said something in case they didn't have the courage to ask. Now that really feels like a vibe of a person who wants to know, and you know because of what you know that you can sense things and you trust, your clear cognizant abilities. And that's what it means to be clear cognizant. Like, you have to trust what you know and the truth that hits you right in your gut. Like, you don't have to question it. And this could be someone that you know wants to know something. Huh. Ooh, Satan exposes his character without exposing his identity. This is looking at a situation from a soul level. So I feel like a lot of you are getting this x-ray like vision to see who it is that you're connecting with, or you may have had this conversation with yourself within another realm. As you can see, the egg is significant, but this is also a shell. But this is like you going through your rebirth, and you had a conversation with your higher self through this rebirth here. Show me chop wood. Okay. It's 111. Page of Cups, 8 of. Listen, you had this conversation with your higher self here. Okay, so you've mastered something in terms of higher knowledge, and this is why you're receiving the offer of this new life. Now, you've been protected here by it's an energy of the unknown, because my legs got chills, and that's Pisces. You have been connecting with an energy of the unknown here, okay? And we got Pisces showing up here too. But then we have this 8 of Wands, which is Mercury and Saturn in the Page of Cups. So we have here, wow, this is Pisces, and this is Capricorn. Pisces, Capricorn. So there was something you were supposed to use during Capricorn season that has come back around, and you're now utilizing it. This could be an idea, and you connected to this idea because you now have your identity, okay? And this information is coming in quick. Once you have put yourself in this uncomfortable state to be enlightened, this is a sacrifice. So you put yourself in an uncomfortable state to be enlightened. Like, when I say sacrifice yourself, you may have been feeling headaches, body aches, and you can tell as to who it is that you are being drained by or given energy to, but it can't be reciprocated because they're not in that state. because they don't know themselves, or they disregard themselves every chance they get. And every chance they get is, for instance, you make a mistake once, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time thereafter is a choice. You got to stop saying the word trying. That's the reason why you don't have it. Once you get that word out of your vocabulary, you're showing the universe that you're no longer sitting in judgment. As trying has to do with being at a trial and sitting in judgment, or deciding to make a decision or take action on a decision. You have plenty of ideas that is coming your way, but anytime you say trying, you can't see them. High priest, high priestess here at the bottom of the deck. I need to look at Chalkwood 42. Let me not do it over there. Chalkwood 42. Jackie Robinson. Reeve Musk. Love is eternal. Monarch butterfly. Catwoman. Some of you may want to rewatch Catwoman and listen to certain phrases, or research or look up quotes from the movie Catwoman. Let me do that. I used to do that a lot. That was one of the movies I would watch almost like every day when it came out. Life would be much easier if I didn't have this conscience. Ooh. Let's see. The East End. My soul is tied to this place now because it cost me so much in blood and tears. But this is where the Catwoman was born. And if it has to be, there she will die, aka transform. The mental power is the worst pain over that comes and go. Yeah, I hear you. You just got to get away from whomever it is. What house is your North Node in? 7. Little birds should stay away from big bad kitties. Let me see. We both know you've been looking for a reason to say that for a long time. You never wanted me around. You never liked me. But you could never justify it. Not to Harley. Huh. Give me a second. I feel like there's so much more in here. Cats come when they feel like it. That's a fact. Careful what you wish for. A long time ago, before I put on this mask, I was afraid of everything. So something about your ascendant sign here, being the ascendant sign, whatever your ascendant sign is, okay, may have something to do with where you feel the most negative, the most draining like energy coming from a person that has that as a sun sign. It's like a hidden subconscious jealousy and envy because you automatically present that. That is the face of you. Your ascendant is the face of you. It's what people see. Okay? Your sun has to do with the soul, what people can't see. Your immortal spirit. In the 12th house, yeah, you have to trust the unknown. You could have a tendency to overanalyze things, but you have to trust the unknown. So it's like the reason why I asked is I was thinking either you got it in the fourth, eighth, or 12th, which means you have to trust what your intuition is telling you, but you may be so practical about certain things that it won't allow you to do it. But listen, on a collective tip, it's like basically what I just said. Study more about your ascendant sign. Okay. Let's get into the Celtic spread, y'all. Let's go. We got exchanging gifts, loyal heart, never ending story, serendipity. Yeah, something's about to shift here automatically, like out of the blue. Literally out of the blue, out of space, out of air. So this is the alchemical process of you putting the past, present, and future together. Let's go to the I'm gonna pull the Celtic spread the way we did yesterday with the moon cards. 3 of them, or 3 groups, depending on how many come out. And the first group of cards that come out with the moon energy, we will use as clarity about the possible outcome based on the current situation, the challenge of the current situation, and the foundation of the reading. The second pile of the moon cards would be having to do with the immediate past. And the third pile would have to do with what's happening next and thereafter, including the advice, what's in your environment, hopes and fears, and the outcome. Let me get this situated. Here, Goofy. I feel like I might use those. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, we have the moon cards right here. Boom. I feel like some of you are on this spiritual journey where people are more so focused on the material, what you can gain from it. No problem. All right, here we go. Moon cards. First pile. Okay, we already know the first pile of moon cards, or the first pull that we get from the Moonology Oracle deck, has to do with the possible outcome, the current situation, challenges according to or in connection to the current situation, and the basis of this reading, or the foundation of this reading. So this is like the theme of it. What's going on here? What's going on for the collective? What is happening here? You know what I'm sensing right now as I'm pulling these cards? Because we're getting into Pluto and Aquarius, right? Which is causing a change in the electrical impulses of our nerves. And with these solar flares that are coming in, this is like recharging the blood. Like, I won't be surprised if there are new blood types, of which we probably don't even know about, but I'm pretty sure they are. But this could be a massive change where you're going from a double helix to a triple helix when it comes to the DNA. So there's a lot that's happening. And as far as what's happening, this could be like the I don't even want to call it the fight that your body is having, but It could feel like that, where you are disconnecting from an old belief that is connected to a specific part of your DNA or your cells, and a destruction of that within your body is the result, or the what's causing some of these pains. Obviously, I'm not your medical professional. I'm just going off of what I am sensing from just an intuitive view of it. We have here, okay, adjustments are required. In reverse, I'm going to pull one more for the first section here. Show me more about this. North Node. So that came out yesterday for the immediate past, but the North Node in reverse will be the South Node. We're going to have to get one more. We're going to have to get one more with that. Yes, indeed. Talk to us, Swiss. Just got chills again. Your dreams need a practical plan, and this is coming out sideways, which was the card that showed up for what was happening next. The advice and the environment, hopes and fears, and outcome. So this is there's a challenge here that some of you have been experiencing full throttle since Scorpio season, that eclipse. It created a T-square. The moon and Uranus on one side, and Sun, Mercury, and Venus on another, and Saturn on the apex. Possible financial crisis, Taurus, money crisis, supply chain crisis. A sudden change of material circumstances can happen because of Uranus, which affects one's status and stability. Sudden endings, surprising news, culminating of conflict, crisis, which requires complex solution. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna look into this, y'all. Okay. Hold your vision here. Let's see what's the card for the theme for the immediate past. Okay. What's going on here in the immediate past? We got a new start is coming, like yesterday, and nothing will come of this situation. That's for the immediate past. Mm-hmm. And the final group. For the cards in the immediate future, the advice. Well, shit now. Okay, we got prosperity lies ahead. These, time to take action, it says. Don't let pride get in the way. I'm going to pull one more. It also says confidence was the key to success here. So that key would have to do with your sun sign and the house that it's in. So in terms of confidence being the key to success, the house that your sun sign is in is what you want to focus on, especially when it comes to this new life, where you're going to be bold to make the first move and aligning with the prosperity that lies ahead. Okay, let's do this. I definitely didn't have these in here. So let me get one more. The South Node card was one of the ones that was upright from the ones that was sitting right here. I did not include it in that shuffle, but we have the energy is gaining momentum. Therefore, take time to breathe out. Okay. And with the disseminating moon, that happens in the moon phase, waning gibbous after the full moon. And then you have the waxing moon which could be the one right before the full moon or the one right after the new moon. So we have the energy is gaining momentum in the moon phase right after the new moon, and the moon phase right before the full moon, which is what we're in right now. This is what we're in right now. The waxing gibbous phase, and the moon is in Leo. Okay, let's see. The moon is in Leo and in opposition to Pluto. So there's a conflict here between your emotions and the ability to have a deep regeneration. So some of you as empaths, right? Peep game. The moon symbolizes instinctive awareness, and Pluto is the planet of transformation. With the moon square or opposite Pluto, there is potential conflict between emotions and deep regeneration. Everyone is more subject to their deeper needs today or even their compulsions, and some degree of interpersonal difficulties is also likely. An exceptional level of depth to feelings can lead to sensitive awareness of others' needs as well as your own. Profound healing is eventually possible, but it takes work. So now I'm seeing the chariot card. So you knowing this, what I just said, as an empath, okay, be very mindful of the way people are projecting their energies towards you. And the way of projection is people looking for attention, huffing and puffing, slamming shit, stomping, whatever. Okay, that is an energy that is out of balance, which is expressing the anger outside of self rather than handling everything that is happening internally, so that way it doesn't overcome the psyche, where you have no connection to your own psyche. Okay, so the energy is gaining momentum, right? Let's look at these messages. Let's look at the current situation that popped out quick. The moon, that was significant. Let's see what else is happening here, though. Let's see what else is happening here. The moon is in a trine to Jupiter and Neptune. So everybody's feeling tuned into cosmic awareness. But if a person doesn't know that they're tuned into cosmic awareness, that is also known as chaos. The order in chaos is your awareness of this cosmic awareness, that anything can shift at any given moment because of a powerful force that is connected to it, or a powerful entity that is connected to it, because force is different from power. Force, you have to push. You have to push it for it to happen. Power, it just is. Okay. So let's see here. 1331. Let's get it. The goal after this message, I don't care what the fuck you got going on today. Get in the space where you are feeling joy, abundance, and happiness, and just enjoy the show. Get your popcorn and enjoy the show. I'm gonna come back with another message later because I already know the vibes. And you know why I'm like that too? You would be this way knowing your Chiron, especially if it's in Cancer in the 12th house, because you came in with a wound. Your soul has been wounded due to being nurtured. So you can feel everything at a level that people are nowhere near aware of. Like, if you're someone with Chiron in the 12th house, doesn't matter what sign it is, okay? Like this is some deep shit. Okay, because remember now, Pisces is the last zodiac sign. So with Chiron in the 12th house, this is like, let's say, the last 12 billion years, million years, of 12 generations. You carry the wound of every single person of your bloodline within your vessel. You're going to look crazy as fuck telling people about what you feel. But this is also a placement, wherever you got the 12 houses, is also a placement where you really have to sit with yourself and meditate and feel those emotions And when you feel these emotions according to or in connection to certain memories, you decide within that feeling to change it up to something that is not draining you. Okay. And with those type of placements, when it comes to a planet in that house, that's the part of you where you're going to be highly misunderstood, because this is a lot of the unknown, a lot of secrets and everything like that. So this is a part where if you find yourself expressing this version of yourself, okay, to other people, and they make you feel like you tripping, let that be the last time you have a conversation with these type of people. Don't play yourself. Don't even play yourself. Let that be the last time you have a conversation with those type of people, because they're not going to understand you. Most of them are afraid of tapping into the unknown, therefore doing the shadow work. So come on now. I'm talking to somebody this afternoon. Listen, what's the current situation here that has to do with the South Node, adjustments that are required that haven't been made in accordance to the practical plan? We got, look at this shit here. Well. Mm-hmm. So some of you are in a partnership that is falling apart everything's for a reason. It's falling apart because you don't belong there. You don't belong there. Okay. So with this North Node coming out in reverse and adjustments are required, it's like you're stuck in the past. You're stuck in the past version of yourself. Okay. So with the Five of Swords, Venus and Aquarius, I'm getting somebody here taking a hit when it came to your heart chakra. And the reason why is coming across as a sacrifice is like you knew this from the beginning, but you didn't trust your own value, your own core values. With the Two of Cups, you got Venus and Cancer. So you may have had a distorted truth about yourself because you've constantly been told, or you shouldn't feel this way, or you shouldn't feel that way. Meanwhile, nobody can feel what you feel, not even if you describe it from point A to Z or 0 to infinity. Doesn't matter how clear you express this or show this to people. They can't feel what you feel because they're always going to have their own perception. These are two Venus cards here, speaking of your core values and the way you trust yourself. And then we have the full moon in Taurus, okay, which occurred during Scorpio season last year, November 8th. All right. And this is about you knowing this, but now taking action on what you know, being more practical about what you've discovered, going through the unknown. Okay. Let's see what the challenge is here. We're going to see what the challenge is. We already got the Tower card showing up for the current situation. So there's currently at this moment a Tower moment for some of you in any form of partnership when it comes to your feelings and what you know in connection to your core values. And based on what you know, this is something that you have to disconnect or grow with. So I'm also seeing you may have Saturn going into your 8th house or 7th to 8th house, because Saturn in the 7th is showing you, the challenges that you're having in these partnerships. In the 8th house, this is when the transformation happens. Either something's going to keep going for the long haul or it's over with. What's the challenge here? The 10 of Wands. Taking the hit. That's all I'm saying. 10 of Wands. That's a Saturn card at that. Your challenge is trusting your higher knowledge here. Saturn in Sagittarius. Your challenge is trusting the higher knowledge that you have. When I mean trusting the higher knowledge, is putting it into practice, because you may be surrounded by a lot of people you cannot have this conversation with wholeheartedly, with the Five of Swords and the Two of Cups showing up here. This could even be a partner. This could be a partner in work. This could be a partner in love. This, whatever it is that you're doing that has to do with the partnership here. Okay. Let me get We on it today. We no. The closer we get to this full moon, it's time to really clear up these emotional blockages, y'all. It's time for you to really step into your new life. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Show me this energy here. The Hangman. And the Hangman was the challenge yesterday. So this is what I mean. Trusting the higher knowledge that you have from going through the unknown and being practical about it now. And I feel like being practical about it is just taking the steps or the actions. Let's say actions having to do with, okay, you had a conversation with your spirit guides. You know what they look like. You know who they are. You know who your ancestors are that support you. You know the ancestors that you have that don't fuck with you. Apply what you're supposed to apply. Pay attention to when family members are talking about certain ancestors that you've been given awareness of to your dream state to not fuck with, because they're the reason why the bloodline is fucked up the way it is anyway. That's what I'm saying. Six of Wands here. See, you're being celebrated by those that are working with you in the astral realms here. Because this Six of Wands is showing people celebrating her. Just hands. There's a lot of hands. It's not even people. There's a lot of hands here. This is also an energy of where you're celebrating yourself through the integration that you've had, trusting your gut instinct, Jupiter, Leo, integrating your life lessons. And those who did not support you are going to be reaching for you, because the way these hands are showing up here, because it's not people, it's showing up as hands that are looking and reaching for you. And these are the same hands that were the same ones that were, putting you down when you was already down. Yeah. It's over for that. It's over for that. Page of Wands, which was the current situation yesterday. So this how the spread was yesterday. Okay. And the final video that we did. So now it's time for you to get excited, because now you know. I feel like what we just said just now is you knowing exactly what's going on. That's all I'm saying. Some of you have to really connect with, there's certain names or people or numbers that are showing up to you because there's a connection to an ancestor or a spirit guide that is, I heard, on hold, that wants to work with you, but they can't work with you because you're still working with this part of your life or this particular ancestor that are on two different paths. Okay, the one that wants to work with you is the one that knows what happens after you cross the crossroads and the reasons as to why you should be crossing the road and leaving certain situations behind. Like you saw yesterday, we had the Two of Wands, and then it was the Ten of Pentacles was there, the Page of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, something like that. But it was behind the wand that is being left behind. So there's a lot here that you have to leave behind. Okay. But with the Page of Wands, this is speaking of a message that's coming in that's been on delay, which is why I'm saying that. Okay, for you to release these burdens, because after this Ten of Wands, you got the Ace of Wands. Show me more. Yes, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. All right, let's continue. Confidence is the key to success. Look to where your sun sign is. Focus on the house that your sun sign is when you were born. Focus on where your sun sign is in the house that it's progressing through and where it's transiting through. Transiting and progressing through. If you don't know how to access that, email me and book yourself a reading. That's how we're going to do this. Okay. Let's see what's at the basis of this here. Come on with it. I'm telling you, that's exactly what the fuck it is. That's exactly what it is. This is what I was saying yesterday. I don't think you realize how powerful and gifted or ancient you are. Or you do know, but you You don't play that role the way you're supposed to. You got the 8 of Wands, the 6 of Wands, and the 9 of Cups. I just told you about this 6 of Wands card. Now, this 6 of Wands, you can actually see people. Okay? It ain't. Where this fucking 6 of Wands is here. Let me show you something. Okay, see, look at that. It's in between, and it's actually in between the 8 of Wands and the Star card in this deck. Look at the difference. See these hands? And how many people do you see here? It ain't that many hands. Some of you got your foot on people's necks without intending to have your foot on people's necks. And when I say without intending to have your foot on their neck, this is themselves, their own demons, coming for them. Because you're supposed to control it. This is a part of you. Ain't shit to be afraid of. Because if you're going to be afraid of something, then obviously you're afraid of yourself. We got 8, 6, and 9. 869 could be significant. So with this 8 of Wands and the 6 of Wands with the 9 of Cups as the basis of your reading, I'm going to pull from here because I want to see what adjustments are required here because you have the Knight of Cups. So you're about to receive an invitation. So if you're obviously receiving an invitation, you're receiving it from those who want to be around you. Because the Knight of Cups speaks of grace and sentiment and fresh ideas, love. I feel like some of you are stepping into a partnership that has to do with the way you overcome a discussion either with someone or yourself. And what I'm getting from this right now is, as we were saying before, some of you have within your vessel the challenges of your bloodline from eons ago. To the point where there's part of this information has to do with a life that has yet to be documented through science. And the reason why it can't be documented through science, because that's how deep of a spiritual life it is. It has a lot to do with the unseen. What are these adjustments here? Come on, source, make this clear. All right. They was like, go to the star, man. I'll make it clear. Let's do it then. What is these adjustments? Why is adjustments are required in the reverse in connection to what we already have? That makes sense. 5 of Wands. The 5 of Wands is clarifying the reason why adjustments are required here in reverse. Now, the third quarter moon The third quarter moon is reevaluating, balancing, and trusting, but in reverse, it would be the first quarter's energy of a challenge when it comes to your confidence and committing to that. Going back again to where your sun sign is in the house that it was in at the time that you were born, or where it's progressing through at this time. See the balance between it? Let me get one more card here. The foundation, we got the Queen of Swords. That's wild, because I was like, I do have to go to the restroom. And Uranus connects to Libra. But that's also speaking of one-on-one partnerships, growth through confrontation. So this is reevaluating the growth of the growth you've gained through confrontation, turning a negative into a positive. Turning a negative to a positive. We got the Three of Swords, the High Priestess, and what's after that? The World. Come with it. So you are the first person in your bloodline in a long time to bring in this generational wealth. You are automatically disconnected from either your whole family or your majority of them. Okay. Adjustments are required. Let me see what. Something constantly is flashed before your eyes here, or peripheral vision. There's something you're seeing. And everybody in this card has on a mask. Everybody in this card has on a mask, including the one with the golden aura. I feel like this is you, obviously, battling all of these energies here. Okay. You've been putting in that work, obviously. You put in the work, so now it's time for you to make the adjustments based on the work you've put in. And the adjustments would be you applying the knowledge, wisdom about one-on-one partnerships. And the wisdom that you have is that, similar to what Third Eye said earlier, where you carry this certain vibration, and people around you or family members have disconnected from you because they thought you was doing something completely different, and here they are attracting a version of you. So this is like the growth that you now can see that you've had through that particular scenario. You've been misjudged about who you are. And then you start to hear people actually tell you about advice someone else gave them that you told them about 2-3 years ago. So you growing through that, 1331 is significant. You growing through that is seeing the value you have within yourself, being the High Priestess here. Excuse me. Yeah, you definitely completed a cycle, because I thought I was holding up the High Priestess card. But look at these two. Okay. Third eye wide open. First eye, rather, wide open. Knowing the truth about the exoteric knowledge and how it's actually speaking of the esoteric. Okay. Then we have the High Priestess here, connecting to sacred geometry. And this connection you have to sacred geometry, it's like you now having access to these portals wherever you're at. You're going to change a lot of people without you saying anything. That's why the goals keep coming up for y'all the last 2 days, because the goal is a representation or symbolic of understanding what is you, understanding self, because everything that stands under this processor of the crown all has to do with you and the control you have of you. So what stands under the crown is your third eye, your throat chakra, your heart chakra, your solar plexus, your sacral, and your root chakra. Not your mommy, not your daddy, not your brother, not your sister. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So the goal is about understanding what is and is not being communicated, because it doesn't have to be. Those who see you for all that you are is a prime example of someone who understands and understands themselves and now attracts an overstanding. Therefore, now you're connecting with other people that understand and understand themselves. This is someone else who knows the God within them, not outside of them. And again, going back to video number 7, you can see why people would live beyond the lifespan that you see today. You're speaking of 1,000 years. Lifespan today is less than 100. The fuck? Mm-hmm. See, that's the representation here of this temple. It's a whole church. You see that eye, though? The sun, the truth. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. So now we're gonna look at. Now we're gonna clarify these, right? Foundation. We got the 8 of Wands, the 6 of Wands, and the 9 of Cups. We're gonna use the energy cards for this. Yes, the Sun card popped out. What's the energy of the 6 of Wands here? What's the energy of the 6 of Wands? Coming up in between the 8 of Wands, which is mastering higher knowledge. And in mastering the higher knowledge, there's an expansion of the unknown, the knowledge of the unknown, the knowledge of spirit, the knowledge of one spirit within. 6 of Wands. Okay, journey. '29's been highly significant since yesterday, because even after I finished the live where we was talking about 9229 or 2299, I literally saw a license plate that said that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so journey of love here. You're now walking through the door to romance. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I feel like all of these things that you have, these emotional blocks, is the reason why you have been sensing beforehand all of this rejection or distance from other people, because they don't know what's coming into your life, but they can sense that you're about to be doing great when they would rather you be doing good. 333, come through with it. That's a message in itself, y'all. 333 right here. And it's 3-3 today. Come on, baby. Come on, don't. Let's go to the immediate future. Immediate past. Definitely connected to that. So immediate future, Page of Pentacles. All right. Something about the Page of Pentacles. So this is within 3 weeks. Also speaks of Aquarius energy. Uranus and Saturn. Being practical about all that is like sporadic, or all that is spiritual, or all that is electrical, or things that you cannot see, things that move so quickly, like a balance between things that move quickly and things that have to be stabilized. What's an immediate past? And the immediate past that came out face down has to do with nothing will come of this situation. Focus on a new start. In the immediate past, we have Ace of Cups. Nothing will come of this situation where you were giving your energy, your love, unconditional love to assist people with the new start here. That's why your current situation coming out was where you're giving your cup and who you're giving your cup to, okay? And disconnecting from what you must disconnect from. Change 5. Name Ba, and it's connected to me. And the word Ba, break down to 3. You see the name while you're here? Al, Ba. Okay. Then we got the Ace of Pentacles right up under the dot. Let me tell you something, y'all. You all have an ability, a way of communicating with the unknown, with spirit, the infinite creator of all. That energy that has to do with all things of all worlds, galaxies, and universes. You have a connection to that. That's always going to be misunderstood, specifically by anyone who feels like the word God is to be personified and that you get punished by it. When you are in or residing on a planet or in a planet that gives you free will. So you can already hear the ignorance where you now know and disconnect from it. And it's time to put your love into situations that want to evolve with you. Sometimes the pain comes when you're realizing who you're not going to be evolving with. Because of a lot of beliefs that tells you because you're connected to this or related to this, this is what you're supposed to be doing. No. This whole thing is quite a simulation. Like I was one in my preteen years, I was big on the Sims game. And from that moment I realized, wait a minute. This is what's happening in the world. But in the immediate past, you got the Ace of Cups. Let's get one more card here. One thing is, I'm going to love you unconditionally. So if I notice that you are expressing yourself in a way where you're not presenting yourself that unconditional love, I'm going to let you know about it. At that moment, you have to determine if this is a place you want to be or not. You're not going to hurt me. Man, don't worry about that. Okay? Quality over quantity over here. You feel me? Yeah. Let me see what else is coming through here. Oh, shit. I'm telling you, it's not. Listen. And this got to do with Scorpio season because you got this full moon Taurus card coming out today too. Prosperity is on its way to you come this here Taurus season. So that's next month. April starts at the end of April, but it's next month. Wow, that's, yeah. Okay. And then we have the Lovers here making a decision. I'm going to pull one more card. Give me a second. Nothing will come of this situation. Putting your love or giving your love to where it's not being reciprocated. And how you know when your love is not being reciprocated, people enjoy it for just a moment. And then when something's not going wrong, they don't even give a fuck about what you did before to even assist them to get them out of the situation. Enough of that. But did the Lovers card. This. Okay. It's like, do you that the way we started the message? If somebody has something to say to you or they want to ask you something, ask them first if they're prepared for the truth. Are they prepared to hear what has been known as forbidden knowledge? Okay? Because you tapped all the way in at this point. All the way in. Four of Pentacles. Ooh-wee. That's the legacy card. That's the Sun in Capricorn. So we was talking about the key to success is your confidence. The key to success, that was the Sun card, Sun Moon card. So this would be the Sun in the 10th house. So when it comes to your ego, your immortal your immortal spirit, your immortal purpose, has a lot to do with being in an authoritative state or an authoritative position, because you have the tools to assist others so that way they can grow, so that way they can mature. Also, okay. You may be surrounded by people that are much older than you and they feel like because of your age you didn't go through enough experience. What do you mean? Let that same person step into your body for a millisecond. They're going to want to dip right up on out of there immediately. And this is what I mean about people being under this exoteric spell due to ignorance. See what I'm saying? You could be the youngest in the group, but the oldest on a soul level. But people are so stuck on the material or what a document says that they're in their 50s, 40s, and because you're 12, you don't know shit. You know way more than they will even get to know before they even get to 80. If that, because of their ignorance, they're cutting shit short. And you may be that same type of ancient soul that knows so much that you walk around in a way where you irritate the shit out of people because they feel like you have no reason to. Well, you know what the reason as to why you're going to walk around like that? One, you're making sure your mind, body, and spirit remain in alignment with who and all that you are, and not taking off grid because of somebody's ignorant ways of being. People want to be ignorant and stuck in the paradigm. Let them say that. You move the way you move, and don't allow when they looking for a reaction out of you to ask them if they're okay. Because that's another thing. People have a tendency when they see you evolving, they want you to ask them if they're okay because they can't ask themselves that. When you were going through a phase, when you were looking for that, they were coming at you like, oh, you shouldn't feel this way, because they feel like where they've come from or what they've done is way more than what you are ever experiencing at this time. That's the fucking ignorance I keep talking about, people. Just because someone didn't go through the physical aspects of it doesn't mean that they're not going through it mentally or emotionally. Everybody is uniquely made. Okay? And the same ones that actually experience things physically and feel like someone who taps into that energy emotionally or mentally can ignorantly say that you shouldn't be feeling this way because they went through this in the physical nature, when in reality the reason why you're more than likely going through that emotional and mental state is because they were the ones that was supposed to nurture you, but they didn't know how. And this is why I don't like when people give that excuse about, I've done just enough, I've done what I could do based on what I know. That's ignorant as fuck. You did what you chose to do. And if it didn't make you feel better or make you feel a ways to want to do more, you didn't do that. This is what I mean about that shadow work. Because you have to, what happens in the shadow work is that you're going through these processes that you may have experienced where you're like, wait a minute. I know if I experienced this, but let's say this has to do from a parent to child. I know I experienced this, but I also know that the day I have a child, I'm not putting them through that. I'm going to make sure to do the things that I'm supposed to do so that way when they see me, yeah, we can have a conversation. Always have that conversation with your children, especially if they're, able to converse with you, especially between the ages of 1 and 7. A 1-year-old or less than that can also communicate with you through body language or, just through certain sounds. Don't feel because they can't speak your language just yet, which is a whole nother topic of a spell. Just because they can't speak your language or that they don't hear you or understand you. If anything, they are more tapped in and connected to the cosmic frequencies and the ethers than someone who is between the ages of 8 and later on. 1 to 7, do you know how wide open these beings are? And I'm going to say beings because I don't even want to call it a child or baby. Yes, we know it as that, but the way they're connected cosmically and so aware in terms of the spiritual nature is like, listen, just don't be the person that abandon you or hurt you. Ace of Swords comes out as we're saying all of this. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's time to put an end to all of these situations that you constantly give your energy to. It's constant cycles of up and down, the moon, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Granted, as long as you're in this realm, you're going to have these ups and downs. But you can decide as to the lower high frequencies as to where you're experiencing this up and down. Okay. If you know yourself to be a person, you got shit that you got to take care of emotionally, do that. Ask for the help. But when you do ask for the help, make sure you're prepared to receive what it is that you're asking for. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, look at that 9 of Wands and the Judgment. Listen, the 9 of Wands and the Judgment card. This is a Moon and Sag card. The Judgment, we can see that as the resurrection from the Scorpio energy. Okay. 920. Somebody just said, I was telling him, you want to keep acting up. And that's tying into that too. It's 920 and it's 209 right now. There goes that 22.99 that we've been talking about. Listen. Let me go to the restroom, y'all. Give me a second. One moment, please. Okay. Grazie for being patient. So we have 209 and 920. Give me a second. We're going to have to dive into this. And it's 211. $920. Zulu. Thunderstruck. Quantum human. Relative. A light love. Jack of spades. That's 920. Let me look at 209. Life path. Some of you could be a life path 11. Or this is your life path to really experience a beautiful marriage, divine union. Florence could be significant. Home Alone could be your favorite film, one of your favorites. In a past life, you may have had an association to a cartel. Leopold. Well, that's the movie, Kate and Leopold. Let's see, The Machine. Let's see. I am soil. Could be an earth sign. One earth sign could be significant. Back in time. A man of legend. Gate of Kali. 209. Gate of Kali. Black holes. I see fire. Then you got fear of God. We go one more page. We have 1414. Doth. Blame the Bible. Blame your pastor for not telling you what's really going on. The next thing is dogmatic. Then it says healers. Lion air. Some of you could be Mercury and Leo. And connecting to the magic of Odin. Let's see. Magic of Odin message. Oh, wow. That was fast. Because there's other cards in here beyond rooms. We have Awaz, which speaks of defense, defensive forces, the strength to ward off, repel blockades, and defeat. Patience is key. It speaks of initiation into death mysteries, the timeless eternity, immortality, which now helps you or aids you and guides you to avoid casualties. Growth is encouraged through discomforts. That come through Odin. And if you were born on a Wednesday, you strongly are connected to Thoth, Odin, same energy. Okay. Let's continue. Ooh. That's why the bottom of the deck was like, take time to breathe out. Like I literally put these cards here and they slipped down. I was going to tell y'all, but it slipped down. So I told you. So let's go to the possible outcome, which is going back to making the adjustment. What happens? Making the adjustment from bringing in the South Node into the North Node, which is being practical about the plan, or a shift that happens from whatever occurred during the full moon in Taurus, November 8th. Adjustments are required. What's the possible outcome when the adjustments are made? You got the King of Swords, Four Wands. You're going to know where it is you're supposed to move, when you're supposed to move, why and where, and also in manifesting it. But the King of Swords is also speaking of you could now be stepping into receiving contracts or signing contracts that will get approved. You just have to stay in alignment to your inner knowing and inner wisdom and your truth. Be honest, continuously be honest with yourself and others, and those who cannot tolerate you being honest, these are obviously people that won't celebrate you, because your honesty should be celebrated. Stay in alignment to your sage wisdom with the King of Swords, which is also speaking of being devoted and committed when it comes to building your new foundation here based on your core values as to who you are, Venus and Aries. However, this has to do with also Venus and Pisces. Venus is exalted in Pisces, but in Aries is at a fall. So this is like hitting rock bottom and having no choice but to be sharp in your thoughts and the way you move, practically move from there on out, because where you landed when hitting rock bottom, you're no longer going to return there. Knight of Cups, there it goes. Message invitation. Some of you could be moving it with someone here that is actually going to help you. Let me see. There is a celebration here. Possible outcome is that you put in a proposal, put in an application, and it gets approved. This is taking a leap of faith. Yep. And the cards went upright reverse. Let's see. Ooh-wee. So Temperance is Jupiter, Sag. Anything can happen in 10 seconds, 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 months. Now 10 weeks would be the Page of Wands, which you got as clarifying the 10 of Wands, which is your challenging position. So when you make these adjustments, y'all, you're going to be guided by an angel that's going to help you temper what it is that you are feeling and thinking, so you can remain in alignment with the passion that you have to continue to move forward. The balance of the sun and the moon here, okay? I feel like some of you may be a Sagittarius rising, where you could be now really truly seeing who's been talking behind your back when it comes to those who you call relatives, family, supporters, whatever, partnership, or, social relationships that you would constantly surround yourself with, that you would always give your love to, but nothing is coming of that situation. The only thing that's coming from it is you continuously being stuck. So we got the Queen of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck with the Nine of Pentacles. Listen. Okay. The more you master the use of the way you enjoy giving service, take that somewhere else. Some of you need to be here on YouTube or putting up your own videos about your own experiences, especially if you're in a position where you can't have conversation with those around you, because it goes in one ear and out the other, or you're 14404, or you're just on different paths, which is okay too. But don't make that difference a problem by forcing yourself to be understood. The Queen of Pentacles comes out anyway. Yep. For some of you, it's time for you to literally mind your business. You've been doing that, but I feel like for some of you, it's possibly been getting to you, especially since the start of 222, since the start of Pisces season. And it's making you feel left out in the cold, or you're 14441, or you're noticing where people may feel like they're left out in the cold, but it's not. That is your intention, to leave them out in the cold. You're just focused on what you have to do, because anytime you put your focus towards them, your power diminishes in terms of you manifesting the reality that you want. Let's see what's next. Immediate future, advice, what's in the environment, breaking through these hopes and fears, and the outcome thereof. We have Be Bold and Make the First Move as a theme, with prosperity lies ahead. And we have here the energy is gaining momentum, which is one of the phases we are currently in because we are approaching the full moon. This current phase here is about tweaking, honing, and adjusting for the prosperity that lies ahead. So this means that you have to be bold when it comes to making the first move. You may be an Aries, Libra, Cancer, or Capricorn, or you may have placements either transiting the first house, fourth house, seventh house, 10th house, or you may have this as a natal chart as far as like where your sun sign is. Okay, so this is definitely a message for you. Let's see here. What's in the immediate future? Oh, baby. Okay, slap. You got the Emperor, Four of Swords. There's something else here. Nine of Swords. And there goes the Page of Wands again. Wow. So this energy that we keep picking up on as far as your sun sign is important right now. Because it's also speaking of your inner child speaking to you in connection to an ascended master, okay, or an ancestor that is now working with you that we were speaking of before, like you disconnecting from one part to truly connect to what is, that's going to help you to step into your true temperament, your true life force. Because I'm seeing this as the collective in the center. This would be the universe operating, the Emperor, Aries energy, the I am that I am, but this is also speaking of the heart. So the heart of the cosmos is actually helping you to see what it is that you have to put to rest, to put a close, 13, to all of this mental blockage that leads to emotional blocks of whatever it is that's been going on in the past here. Because that's the Six of Cups in the stained glass. Okay. Some of you have been going back and forth with this actual decision that you have to make when it comes to where you've been giving your love and to go somewhere else. Let me pull an energy oracle. Show me this energy here. Because the Page of Wands speaks about great news coming in that's going to break you free. This could even happen in Aries season. So it's like the final stages of being asleep before you wake up. Springtime. Like a bear. You've been hibernating. You've been hibernating, and in that dream state, as you put things to rest, what you're putting to rest are all of those situations that were on your journey that had you all tied up. 223. Let me see what this is saying here. $223. We have Masonic, Sabrina, Mangoes, 9-8, Patience, Cosmo, Beatles, Anne Frank, Episode. Cash App. I smell paint. nobody painting around me. Let me see. It has to do with the Stargate. As far as gematria, it says Stargate, Panthers, the red dragon, the star. This shit says take off, sacrifice. That was 7 days after the 8th full moon in Taurus. Miracles of healing, starfish, campus, no one left behind, road trip. 1 second. Okay. But the way it was written there, it says sack, and it is given sacral. There's something being taken off or taken off. There's something being taken away from you, sacral wise. This is pulling something from the roots so it no longer grows this situation again. Show me this. It's time. What is it time for? Steering clear. It's time to face the reality. We have the ostrich trap. What is it time for here? This is happening in the spring. So focus on the life you want to create. It's 4 wands, this beautiful union, this beautiful life. Don't let what's going on in your current circumstances to make you feel a ways. If you do feel a ways, just know you are the operator, okay, of the emotions that you're feeling. Change the way you feel, because certain things are just coming back, to the forefront or the surface to get you to switch the way you internalize it or not. Spring. It's time for the restoration that you need. Old habits are dying hard from the endurance that you've had. Family patterns. What is that? That's 818 right there. Wow, okay. It's time for you to close out this cycle for sure. Changing. Come on with it. Something specific here between the years of 81 and 85 that's changed, that is being re-triggered or constantly is being triggered between the years 81 and 85 that is changing now. What else we have here? Some of you weren't even born then, but this is significant in terms of what you're carrying in your vessel from your parents. We have changing soon, happening soon. And with this little dog here, this is giving the dog star energy. Sirius, you're in sync with your galactic family. And if that's the case, not if, that is the case. Ooh, babe, there goes that 29 again. With that being the case, and this optical illusion, I'm telling you, the universe is on your side here. It says here, optical illusion, not what it seems, mirage, trap, unclear, visual effect, confusion, head trip, trick, hallucination, hocus pocus, sleight of hand, projection, predictive programming. What about that being the basis of what we're pulling now? It's time for you to take chances, focus on what happens next, focus on where you want to go next by expressing gratitude as to where you are now. For some of you, that's going to feel like you're gambling or you're taking a risk that you're not prepared for. But just know, based on this number 9 card, which speaks of the master, okay, you have all that is required, aka that you feel like you need. You have it. Just continue to be in the flow of it and know that you have a commanding presence. And with the commanding presence, some people may not be comfortable with that. Disconnect from all of that. Okay, go where you can really be all that you are, especially with this Emperor energy, clarifying that this is happening one in the spring and specifically Aries season. What is happening? A great news that's going to liberate you from all of this confusion and all of this feeling like you're mourning, or like you have anxiety and things like that, because a lot of truth is being revealed to you, but it's up to you as to the way you respond to it. Don't react to it, respond to it. All right, so yeah, prosperity lies ahead. The energy is gaining momentum. It's time to tweak, hone, and adjust. Yes, indeed. Okay. And this tweaking and honing and adjusting is you seeing who you can trust, starting with self first. Some of you have been trusting yourself, and this is why you've been around people who you can't trust. Greetings and welcome, Fatima. So yeah, let's see here. Clarify this energy in the immediate future. King of Swords, and that's what you have as the possible outcome. So yes, the possible outcome, we asked, what happens if you do make this adjustment? Well, you become in alignment to the 1111. 4 Wands, celebration, happiness, divine union. Come on now. No longer in a state of confusion with the 2 of Swords in reverse here. Come on now. You can see everything for what it is. You can see the heart. You can hear the actual rhythm of people's hearts, like this owl right here. That's what helps you to make a decision moving forward, is trusting the way you can hear someone's heart beating, the rhythm of their heart. You want to talk about sensing somebody's true intentions? Look at that shit. High Priestess was popping out with this Queen of Wands. And this is what I mean about wherever you may have Cancer in the 12th house. You feel things that you may not be able to put in words, but the feeling is a program. It is a word. It is a language. Sometimes nothing has to be said. That was the goal's message. Understanding what is. Y'all collective, you on some real shit. You're literally in this space where nobody has to say anything. Be the owl. Listen to that heartbeat when you're around these energies. Because what's happening is your heart is actually imitating that rhythm. This is where you now, when it comes to trusting the wisdom of your body, this is what that looks like or feels like, expressed in words. When you get around people that bring joy into your life, it's a completely different feeling when you feel shut out from certain people. They can sit here and smile in your face and do all this other extra shit to make it seem like, but that ain't that. Just like the heartbeat of the sun. You know what I'm saying? So You're being shown exactly why you chose to be on this journey. Because you don't want the generation thereafter. This is an amazing time to have a human experience where you have an opportunity to change so much in this world just off of what you do. What you do with your own body, your own government. There are different worlds within you. You have a whole set of a collective within you just with your organs, just with your blood vessels, just with your nerves or the nervous system. Come on now, y'all. That's why I said I'm coming back later for another live because we gonna get all this energy out. I want to see comments where people are moving, people are in beautiful relationships, things that you thought you could never do, you're able to do. We're done with the bullshit. Okay? If it ain't fertilizing that ground, it can't be used. Absolutely not. I could feel the energy of the ancestors of the collective that want to see you do beyond your own beliefs, beyond your own vision of what you see as your greatest life. And take it from me, I've lived a life where until I did the shadow work, I didn't realize I was surrounded by so many pessimistic beings. But that also helped me in the most beautiful way by turning that around and seeing how much knowledge, because everything, I kid you not, every experience that had to do with pain, it led me to research what it meant on a spiritual level. And the more I did that, the more I was learning about the body, the more I was learning about the brain, and realizing there's certain instances where you're debating with someone who's from a completely different realm or speaks a different language, and there isn't going to be an understanding because it seems like you're speaking the same language because it sounds the same, but then in reality what's actually being vocalized is completely different. And it would sound like somebody speaking Spanish to someone that's speaking English, but they're both speaking English. Why? When we speak about the veil, that's exactly where people are set in their ways when it comes to wanting to be at a state of confusion. But like I always tell y'all, look at people from a spiritual or soul level and or both. Because some people are literally puzzle pieces to get you to wake up. Okay? To realize, oh shit, your brain in this area is not functioning, so you can't even hear or process what I'm saying. And that right there, ain't shit you could do about that. That is up to them to figure out what they're going to do to either exercise that portion of their brain or remain the same. You know, I found at least 20 different crystals in the soil. Aww, that's beautiful. That's what's up. So yeah, y'all, let's rise to the occasion. Let's rise to the occasion because you're about to see this shit split up. It's about to look real different out here. Y'all see how AI moving? It ain't funny, but all right, that's where my Mercury and Sag coming because that shit is not funny. It's really not funny, but it's just like, wow. This is the result of when people don't tap into higher knowledge that they have access to, that is literally your birthright, to bring more knowledge into yourself, but you choose not to. Well, this is the outcome. And we have the Ace of Cups. See, what you thought you was giving your love to is being replenished once you take yourself away from it. Current situation is you having that conversation with yourself, because it doesn't need to be communicated, because you already know what it is. You already know what it is. You already know what it is. You know what you are capable of. You know what you know. And that means that you have this heart of an emperor, the heart of an empress, the heart of a god or a goddess. You got the emperor here. The emperor also, once again, represents the heart chakra. Yo, for some of you, you could be connecting with an Aquarius or an Aries. Aquarius, Libra, Aries, Leo. Let's see what your advice is when it comes to this 10 of Wands. Once again, the theme of where we're at right now, the immediate future we just talked about, it's all about the energy gaining momentum, because prosperity lies ahead. You just have to be bold and make the first move. And what is the advice here? What is the advice? Oh, shit. Okay. And you know what? That coming out in that position is basically saying, make sure you're in control of your demons and not the other way around. Because they'll actually assist you in a way that you're able to, when we was talking about observing what's going on around you and how you can sense where to go and where not to go. Yeah. When you've had quite the bout with parts of yourself that if you weren't aware of it, that they can control you, because those that are claiming to be at power, they are in power because the majority of the world ain't on this type of wave. I mean, you have different communities where the messages are coming out there, but let's just say if the entire world moved through conversations or had a life, with conversations the way we're talking right here, you wouldn't have poverty. You wouldn't have a lot of the negative things or the hurtful, harmful things rather that we see today. You wouldn't. This would be like another Venus, if anything. So, dang. 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles is Mercury in Taurus. Some of you in here are a master of finances. Like this literally taught you to be a financial guru. Or you're connecting with the financial guru, and that could be the good news that's coming in. Let me get one more card here for the advice. Because that devil card is Capricorn energy, 10th house, Saturn. Saturn's going into Pisces. So what you could be having to leave behind could be the work that you do. There's a change in career for some of you. And Uranus and Taurus creates that too, with it being retrograded. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Some of you have to leave the work that you do. Some of you have to leave work at work. One group, leave work at work. Others of you, leave work completely and do something completely different. Because some of you are bringing in certain toxic vibrations into your home. You may want to carry some sage with you, because like we were saying, if everybody in the world was having conversations the way we're having it today, there wouldn't be competition. There wouldn't be poverty. The reason why there's poverty is because of competition and the lack of education. You have a lot of people who call themselves educators, but they're not actually educated. They're actually pouring in a philosophy of detriment into those who they are educating, rather than allowing, if you're going to educate, you're actually going to give information, but not put it into someone, you're going to allow them to decipher if this is information that works for them by them being able to differentiate, okay, this works for me, this doesn't, and I know this doesn't work for me because I'm able to bring out what I know about myself. So when we speak about a true educational system or an educator, this is someone that's bringing out the light out of you. So you can show your light, not hide it. So you can be a part of this world or that world, this financial world, this fitness world. Do what you do, but just know that these are examples of different worlds. Okay, so that if you're going to work for a company, make sure you're able to do what it is that you want to do in the way that you want to do it. Show me this. Show me this here. Two of Pentacles, yeah. You've been juggling this for some time here. What's the advice? Show me more. Ooh, Nine of Cups in reverse though. So you're being asked, okay, so the foundation is you're receiving information as to where you're supposed to go. So that way you do have this wish fulfillment. And it's going to be different pieces of the puzzles that's going to feel like a wish fulfillment. But anytime you get into this space where you feel like you have to juggle something, it's reflecting a part of you that went through a shadow version of yourself that you used to be afraid of, and you have to release that fear. So let's keep that in mind. We got the Devil card here at the bottom of the deck and the Magician. Shit. With the Nine of Swords. Yeah, there's somebody in your workspace. You know what this is like? One, you're being lied to by somebody in the workplace, and you should be getting a raise. But if you get to that position, whoever it is that is at the top feels like you want their position when you're really only there to take care of what you're doing next. It's like somebody is fearing that you're going to take their position when you're not even focused on that. You don't even want that shit. You focus on starting your own business the way this is coming out. Because the Nine of Swords is also here in your immediate future. So some of you are receiving great news that's going to help you to put these financial worries to rest. Okay. But there could be an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Capricorn, Virgo is coming through here strong. Because you have the Devil card and you have the Hermit and you got the Queen of Pentacles. It's time for you to use what you've been analyzing. Candle just went out. Let me see. Let me go this direction. Got it. 250. A native as arising out of the soil. Wow. Okay. Telling you, I really got an ancestor out here that is not playing no games. They said enough is enough. They said enough is enough. Some of y'all woke somebody up, or a part of you that's been asleep for ages, and it's up now. It's up now because it's time for you to connect with your victory. Oh yeah. Okay. Some of you are healing yourself from things that people don't even know that you were battling with. You're healing yourself. You're replenishing your body, the temple path, because you stayed on your spiritual path. So there's something here that you were working on. You were also suffering in silence about. Victory has come. You are resurrecting here. Vesta and Aries. Vesta's in Aries right now. So this could be like breaking a cycle of a what's the word? It's basically a contract. Oh man, I got it. Hold on. Breaking an oath. There's an oath that some of you are breaking here that no longer serves literally your blood. This could be the belief systems, dogmatic beliefs, with the Eight of Cups here. Okay, you've been guided by a Virgo, Pisces, Capricorn. Those are the three that were guiding you: Capricorn, Taurus, and a Virgo. As far as those that are rising from the soil, let me see, 2812. Jehovah has considered one of the chiefs of the people who sealed the covenant with Nehemiah. Give me a second. Shout out to the live for rocking with us. We still in here. Oh shit. Hold on. No. Boom. Okay, there we go. Then we had, okay. $2.55. You gotta give me a second. We gotta look at this. Fuck that. 28. Hashabna. It do not be moving like this when I'm not on live. This is weird. Appreciate y'all for being patient. We gotta look at this, okay? Ooh-wee. Okay. The truth being born when you are in communion with the God within you. The truth being born is upon our souls, and we realize our oneness with the Christ. So this is going back to when people feel like Jesus is coming back. And what that creates in the minds of people, therefore their actions. You're well aware of what 22:22:12. You're well aware of what that means. That you are the Christ that is rising or has risen. Risen from the soil. Risen from the soil. Because we looked at another set of numbers here that said, I am the soil. And it also mentioned Nehemiah. Nehemiah, metaphysically speaking, speaks of spirit where there is no time. Let's go to it. My thing is Nehemiah is in a lot of these definitions because as I click Control F to get to Nehemiah is in 140 searches. And that's giving me the temperance energy as far as what is showing up in your immediate future, as far as the bearer of great news. Nehemiah. Wait with confidence. His father represents the definition of waiting with confidence. Confidence. Darkness flashing. Something flashing before your eyes. Okay. Moments of dark periods of your life are flashing before your eyes. Nehemiah, talk to me. What we got going through here? It's amazing. Thank you, Source. Thank you for this experience. Nehemiah represents one who has been carried away from spiritual peace, aka Jerusalem, into the confusion of sense, aka Babylon, and is desirous of again restoring the holy city. Nehemiah has his representatives in all those who have once realized the peace and joy of the spiritual life, but have been captured and led away by the power of sense thought because of the laxity in keeping the divine law. Let me see. The prophet Nehemiah is the faithful, persistent one within us that believes in this divine possibility for man, the rebuilding of the walls of Jerusalem. And that would speak of, as we just saw here, Jerusalem is spiritual peace or spiritual haven, or peace in that harmony in that haven, harmony within your temple of the body. Okay. Nehemiah can also be said to be that in us which inspires us to higher and better things. He represents two, the boldness and the courage that set about the rebuilding of character weakened by sin, weakened by constant cycles of doing things that are not in alignment to the God version of yourself, or the connection in the union between the God within you and your physical vessel. So, and he is expressing the external aspect of it. Says, we shall prove our victory over all seemingly opposing thoughts and forces by holding to that inner confidence of truth represented by the words of Nehemiah 4:14. Be not afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and terrible, and fight for your brethren, your sons and your daughters, and your wives and your houses. These are all within you before they show up outside of you. So remember the Lord. The Lord has to do with your authority, your spirit, your authority of spirit, your authority over yourself. Huh. Okay. And we got Archangel Shamra at the bottom of the deck, solar plexus, the sun. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful message. Journey again. This journey is, yeah, I'm talking to the ones. You feel me? Because y'all got journey out here twice, 3 times, possibly. Door to spirit. Let me go to 22-3, because you got that in different variations already. I really love being here with y'all, for real. Just had to say that out loud. I was just thinking it. The light of flame, Uriah, Orija. Let me see. Uriah. Let's look at that. Uriah. As you can see, I can literally do this all day. This is what I came here to do. It's one of those things, had I known this earlier in my life, obviously I would have gotten started much sooner. But having a North Node in Pisces in the 8th house, I had to be susceptible to all that was hidden at a very young age and keep it to myself until I was able to develop how to protect myself. That whole journey was on my own too. Let me see. Spiritual illumination, which is purifying the character. The activity of the cleansing, refining process of spirit is hindered in man when he lets lustful desires enter the love consciousness. David, which also represents love, was instrumental in having Uriah, the Hittite, killed that he might have Uriah's wife. Love. Conditional and unconditional. So this is also going back to the advice would be looking at moments where you felt like you were being loved, but nothing was coming of that situation. If anything was coming of that situation, was more things that led to a destructive life pattern, because this is what you got in your immediate future. So this message got kind of deep. Okay, what's in the environment? Alrighty. What is in the environment here? The energy is gaining momentum. Oh. So it's like everything that could have possibly been hidden from you, that in it being hidden was detrimental to you. You're getting flashes of it so you can move on. So there could be things that shock you as to who or where this is coming from, or the area of your life this is happening. You may want to see where Neptune is transiting for you at this time. In your environment, you got the Ace of Wands, though. Okay. Oh, I love it, because this would speak of an opportunity for you to start anew. This is an opportunity for you to start anew. And you're going to have all of the resources necessary for you to do so. That's the last thing you want to focus on. What you want to focus more on is the way it would feel to have or be in this position of starting anew, with knowing all that you know, because it's manifesting. As above, so below. Yeah, I put the deck down to move it out the way, and right up under the Magician is the Fool card. This is what I mean about, trusting where you're intuitively and instinctively guided to go. Because this is about asking, and you are receiving now. Show me the energy of this Ace of Wands. That's the energy gaining momentum and prosperity that lies ahead. Come on now. This is a beautiful, new, passionate beginning, a rebirth. This is also realigning with people that you could really call family, that you are actually familiar with and you can relate to. Some of you have family members that you're familiar with, but you don't relate. This new beginning got something to do with the heart chakra. Yes, it do. Because you do got the Emperor here, also symbolic of the heart here. And the Angel of Strength. This is some strong, passionate, committed, unconditional love on its way to you in the environment. It's already there. It's already there. It's already there. And I feel like for some of you, me saying that is important because you're here. Okay? You're resting and rejuvenating, but as soon as you get out or put yourself in a state to rejuvenate, which means resting would be the grounding. Rejuvenation would be the ascension. So each time you find yourself resting, you're not actually resting. You're still in this anxious state here. Okay. And I'm getting that you got within these next 10 weeks, okay, which is a habit that you are establishing for 60 days, a little bit over 60 days, right? So this would be, like I said, 10 weeks. That would be 2 months and 2 weeks, 22. Is a new habit that you're building based on the vision that you have. So you have to be very mindful as to what it is that you are conscious and focused on within these next 10 weeks, because it's given the energy of the mutable card. Just had a taste for spinach. Some of you may need to increase your intake on iron. Okay. In order for you to have that strength and courage to be able to endure these next 10 weeks, which you're being asked to focus on what it is that you want, the life that you want to manifest, because it's already in your environment. Okay, Archangel Raphael card number is 38. That's an 11. And like it says here, that if you make these adjustments, and that's the adjustment right there, to get out of this energy, that when you find yourself resting, you're still in a state of anxiety. You're not actually resting. Okay. And it could be because instead of you being in a moment of silence with yourself, you're still replaying these memories. And as you're replaying the memories, you're also replaying the emotions you had to it. That in itself is the same point that when you're replaying these memories, you change the emotion by seeing where it has brought you in this life. There's certain things that occurred in the past that has you doing what you're doing today. And this is what I meant about yesterday. Some of you have yet to really give yourself the appreciation and the gratitude for how far you've come along your journey. And it's been an issue, like a back and forth with you doing so, because you may hear in other messages where, you know, if you've changed, let other people tell you. We ain't even talking about that shit right here. We're talking more so about you are in a position where, one, you may have to defend yourself or protect yourself because you're around people who are susceptible or willing to hurt you when you're in a vulnerable state, which shouldn't be the case. Unfortunately, it has been. So we're going to turn the unfortunate into a fortunate situation by saying, you know what? Thank you for showing me 23636. Thank you for showing me all of what that you are. And it's time for me to move on from that, because I know all that you have been shown in the immediate past is that nothing is coming from this situation. But they were literally designed to waken you up. Okay? So within the next 10 weeks, that's what you want to focus on. You may have your bouts where you go back and forth, but remember, if there's a memory that comes up and you're focused on the emotion that you had in connection to that memory, your job is to change the way you are feeling about that memory. Some of you are still in situations with people that constantly do shit that you know is not showing you respect. Like we started the reading. The first time is a mistake. The second, third, fourth, fifth, that is a choice that you're making. Even in the conversation or the thought process that you're having with yourself. Okay? So let's get it, baby. Come on. What's the energy? Show me, Raphael, with this Ace of Wands in the environment here. The sun. And it came out in reverse. It turned around in reverse. So, ooh, Gabriel. This is definitely having to do with starting a new family. Okay. This is definitely having to do with the new family. That's why you're surrounded by the most powerful angles of light angels at this time, to help you to see through the darkness or through the fog, because the sun in reverse would obviously be the moon card. I just had a smell of lemon here. Yep, that's exactly what this is. Okay. Some of you assisting those who don't want to evolve is literally, it's not what you're here to do. You can give it a shot. But again, after the second time, there really shouldn't be a second time. If the first time, it's like some of you are at a point where you're at rock bottom, right? Or you have been. And the moment you receive any form of assistance, you took it and did what you had to do with it, so that way you can evolve or grow from where you were. Some people, rock bottom is their home. There's nothing you can do about that. They have to do something about that. So some of you are in this position right now where there's a new family already have been built for you. 317. Opportunity is presenting itself because you are prepared. I feel like your higher self is in a position where it has taken the reins, where now for you and your physical vessel is going to seem like luck. But you are prepared for this opportunity, because luck is when an opportunity meets preparation. You're more than prepared for this new beginning, for this new life. And going where you're appreciated. Exclamation point. Show me this energy with the Ace of Wands in the environment. And honestly, you're being pulled away from situations because you don't have to keep putting yourself in things where you're not being appreciated, love. Nah. Yeah. Ten of Wands. Pack light. It's time to go. Pack light, baby. It's time to go. And that's the challenge position, was the Ten of Wands. And for it to clarify what's in your environment, I could see where within the next 10 weeks you're actually going to be receiving. It's a miracle that you're encountering at this time. Within the next 10 weeks, a miracle is going to happen for you. You don't have to discuss this with anybody. Just focus on what it is that you want to manifest. Focus on that beautiful, peace, harmonious life you want to be and feel. That's all. Not that that's all, but you know what I mean. Ooh-wee. Anything that is not balanced, we're taking this upright. Because whatever was out of balance is going to be balanced here. And you're being asked to pack light because if you take things that you're still connected to at this time, you're not going to be able to move forward. You're just going to be carrying a weight that literally is an anchor as to where you're coming from. Knight of Wands, yes, some of you are definitely in a space where this could even be a change of mind or physical change in location just within these next 10 weeks, y'all. Because the Page of Wands is a card within 10 weeks. But you want to align with, being on the receiving end of great news. Ten of Cups. This is also in reverse. Seven of Cups. Yeah, because a lot that's being revealed about this broken heart could really, back to what we were saying about the memories and the emotions, you got to change that around. You got to change that around. Record yourself. I've said this before in other lives. There's something you have to say to someone, or you want to express how someone has hurt you so they can see. But just look at it this way. That's not something you have to do. Because look at it this way. You may have experienced that where people have hurt you and you discuss that with them and tell them how they have hurt you. And then they throw something else where they verbally express that you saying this is also hurting them, when they don't realize that that's all they've been doing to you all this time. And them saying that adds to what you are moving on from. So this is why certain things don't have to be said. Did that make sense? It's like someone disregarding your emotions. You know what I'm saying? And the way you move. And it has a lot to do with the way they respond. Well, they more so react to the way you move. You have that discussion with them. They say something else that adds to, it's like they do exactly what it is that causes you to be in this position where they feel like they need to discuss this, or you may want to discuss it. Just be mindful of that. You know what I'm saying? So, because that right there would be the confirmation that you're seeking, as far as like, there goes another gull. Two of them. Two seagulls. just now. Understanding what is, but not having to communicate it. Because in the communication is like adding another layer to the trauma. Okay. Yeah, Four of Wands. And that's that. And this came out upright, which is also the possible outcome. We also, in clarifying the possible outcome or in pulling for the possible outcome, the theme was adjustments are required in reverse. And we asked, okay, so what is the possible outcome if these adjustments are made? You have here the you have the you have the King of Swords and the Four of Wands, and I laugh like that because the Two of Cups landed on the table. Like, yeah, let's let them know. Like, tell them to focus on their values and the way they feel, and if people don't align with that, it's time to move on from that. That's literally what you know now. Four Wands. Who you can celebrate with, and there's a chapter that has to be closed because you're on your way to a new book. Now, these characters may show up in the new book, but they're going to show up evolved because you've evolved. The Hierophant in reverse at the bottom. And the reason why that would be is because of not seeing the back and forth and how it's no longer serving you, where nothing is coming from this situation. So now let's talk about this in the hopes and fears position. There is healing, okay? There is healing. There's an opportunity to heal, and this opportunity to heal means a new family, starting anew, having a rebirth, passionate relationships, hopes and fears. Let's talk about this. Let's see. Okay. We have the King of Cups, Scorpio energy. King of Cups is hopes and fears of the lack of the hopes and fears that stem from the lack of being family oriented or being left out in the cold because you were told at one point that you're not someone who's family oriented and you're only focused on your business. Well, you have to be, because that's literally what saves your life. Because in the moments that you do take that opportunity to connect with family, it's always some fucking drama or some problems. Nobody want to talk about a solution. Everybody want to gossip about this and that and the third, but nobody want to talk about how to get this bag. So anytime you're in this position of hope, which means a lack of faith, too much hope, lack of faith, because you're hoping something's going to happen, which means you're not sure that it's going to happen. Having faith, no, it means that it's happening. You don't see it, but you know it's happening. Just like this Ace of Wands is in your environment, it's happening. Even if it's not physically there, it's already there in spirit. These hopes and fears were projected from the person or situations you couldn't trust, that were not reliable, because they were unstable within themselves. They didn't have a vision. And like you hear, my people perish for the lack of vision, ignoring what's all there. And what's all there is the background information or the forefront of information as to the victory you can gain by being on your temple path. You've been told by people that you were foolish for what you're doing. That led to these projected hopes and fears. But you know why somebody will tell you that you're foolish when you know that you are the living Christ? because the Christ oil is within you. You're a living expression of your heart beating. So here's my thing. Here. This is for those of you who have to over explain yourself to people when it comes to, but how do you know this? What makes you think that that's true? The only reason why part of the reason why people know the heart looks the way it looks, obviously through certain biological research and things like that, right? Okay. So we live in a world where predominantly people have to see things to believe it. But when it comes to the heart beating and what makes the heart beat, people are not going to question that. They're just going to believe it. They can't see it though, but they're going to believe it. So what's the difference when it comes to, you stepping into the esoteric? This is what I'm saying. Don't be sitting here arguing with people that are actually foolish, wanting to be like the fool, because the fool is the one who decides to take on the journey of the universe and connecting with the universal law. Had you going back and forth as to what it is that you know and believe, but people don't realize that what you believe, the basis of what you believe, has a lot to do with what you know. And what you know has a lot to do with either what someone else is telling you or what you are looking into for yourself. Most people belief system is stemming from what somebody else knows, and that's what they believe. This is where you have this other spell with people when you're telling them that you question God. Yeah, I'm questioning the God that you worship, because what the fuck? Or are you actually connecting with God? It's the real question. If you're so much outside yourself. Yep, the Fool's journey is from the Fool card to the World card, literally. Here we got the Hierophant as we're speaking. And that energy is getting stronger when it comes to those who know the Christ is a consciousness and those who feel like it's a physical person outside of themselves. That if it is a physical person outside of yourself, it's the reflection that you see in the mirror. I just smell glazed donuts. Sorrow, pains, and regrets. Look. I think this shit is a game. 331. You decided to take this leap of faith about all this confusion when it comes to mastering one's roots, one's feelings, and a clear understanding of one's womb space, sacral or creative power. Isn't that God? Okay. I rest my case. Let me see what glazed donuts talking about in the gematria. Hold on. Ooh, 888. Woman. Quavo. Thanksgiving. Black Jesus. My God, help me break. And it says, my future. Jack the Ripper. Wild card. Seventh angel. Which is Uriel, 333. What's the message from Uriel? It's actually right here. It speaks of light of God. God is light. Fire of God. Radiation of God. God is the radiating principle of light. The truth that God is the radiating principle of light. That's what Uriel means metaphysically. A recognition of this truth opens the consciousness to spiritual understanding and purification. Uriel means light of God, fire of God, radiation of God. Light signifies understanding, and fire denotes a purifying element that exists in true understanding. And we just talked about that. The fact that these are of God shows that they are spiritual. And this is what I mean. We talked about that. When you have a clear understanding of self, it's a clear understanding and understanding of everything that stands under that crown. Uriel is the seventh chakra, or the seventh angel. Okay. So what's the message, Uriel? Says the thinking woman. I feel like Uriel's like, you're thinking now. Storm warning. The smell of glazed donuts just came around again. Bible wheel DNA. Ezekiel's wheel. Ezekiel. There's 56 searches for Ezekiel. Nehemiah was 140. This is 11. Nehemiah was 5. Eleven is the visionary. The strength that comes from the union with the God within self. Becoming much more self-sufficient. Blue and purple is significant. Third eye crown chakra. Metaphysically speaking, Ezekiel is that in us which relies on spirit and encourage us to place our full trust in Jah. That the Lord Jah, the spiritual I am in us, may become the keeper of our sheep, our spiritual thoughts. Aries. Ezekiel was an enthusiast. His mind was open and alive to things spiritual. A mind that is open and alive to things spiritual. Showing us how to demonstrate strength. Ezekiel saw a vision in Ezekiel 1 verses 4 to 28, in which the glory and the splendor of God, generator, operator, destroyer, were revealed to him. And going back again, okay, Ezekiel represents the open mind and alive to spiritual things. So the power of God's presence threw him down upon his face, falling flat on your face or hitting rock bottom once you see the truth of it all. Where he remained for a time, going through a process of gestation in the dark. But God called him to stand up and command him to go to Israel and carry a message to the people there. God encouraged him and told him to not be afraid when trials come, or when the trials came. Ezekiel means God strengthens. We may apply this story of Ezekiel vision to our own development, for it is a symbol of what may happen in anyone's spiritual growth. When we touch the God consciousness, we realize the presence of a mighty power. And at first we fall down, that is, we become inactive, for we feel our insignificance and our inability to do anything but worship. We soon find, however, that we must go forth and carry the message to others. We must be productive. We do not always need to preach in order to carry the message. Every Sunday, huh? We may become living messages that will be more eloquent in God's cause than words could possibly be. Again, with the seagull's message, understanding what is and it not being communicated. God strengthens the one who seeks him in the inner chamber and finds him there. God fills that one with an urge that he cannot suppress. He must go forth and carry the message of life to all living creatures. There is great work to be done among men, amongst the physical. There's great work to be done when it comes to merging the esoteric with the exoteric. Esoteric being the moon, exoteric being the sun. Okay? They must be shown that good is real and that evil is unreal. That I would actually say that both are real, but it depends on the usage of both. They must be taught. I'm not reading that. Okay. See, this is what I mean. There's a lot of information, but you have to know your soul and know what you're here to do. It says here, the mind and body must be taught and assured that they are filled with the life and substance of God. They must be redeemed from the old race thoughts of sin and sickness, or they will die. If they die, their blood will be on your head because of your not telling them. So just say it once. You don't got to feel afraid for not feeling like you're not doing the work because nothing happened. Just say it once, move on. Okay, it says here, God is life and he sends forth the message of life. It is for all who will accept it. An organ of the body that receives God's message is quickened and vitalized. All the cells and organs of the body must be taught the truth about themselves. And this is also going back to the descension and reascension of the Christ oil that happens every month. Okay, when the moon is in your sun sign. So this is where you also see where the biblical text is a text of physiology and anatomy. Didn't even peep that this entire time. Uriel was at the bottom of the deck. And speaking of Christ, people see it as a masculine figure. I know y'all don't, but this is what you're walking away from. Because that's literally the split of this realm that's happening. Either you're going to stay in this old paradigm or you're going to shift with what is the truth. Because the old paradigm doesn't even exist. And then Oriel comes out again. Look at this. Attachment. Taking the mask off. 5-5. Right there. And when y'all heard that pow sound, it was literally 1455. A man holding a coin. Thinking woman and man holding a coin. 4743, and it's literally 3:43. Let me we got some more messages here, y'all. Let's see. This is all speaking of hopes and fears and what to do to get out of that. We're gathering all the deets. 43 speaks of my father has gathered Ebiasaph. The love quality in man actively expressing itself in an increase in his consciousness and life, attracting to him much spiritual blessings and attainment. There it is. Okay. So now, how was the message from Uriel? And Uriel showed up about three times. So now let's go to the outcome. Look at these cards that fell out. Any envy that has been projected or attached itself to you is over for that. It's over for that. The outcome is no longer being at a crossroads. With the world card here at the bottom of the deck, this is the completion of a new major life cycle and being reborn. Ace of Wands. Show me more about this energy as the outcome. As above, so below. We went in on this. And what we just finished talking about is actually reactivating your dormant cells in ways to set boundaries without straining yourself to protect yourself or defend yourself. This is why you got that rune that came out. Knowledge of Odin or wisdom of Odin. The strength to ward off or repel anything that would block you. You have walked through the doors of obtaining knowledge of the death mysteries, which is connecting you to your eternal life, immortality, which means you're not speeding up the clock of your experience here on this realm, because now you have been granted access as to ways or vibrations that help you to avoid casualties. Okay, as you have grown through the discomforts. Well, let this be the message that assists you to do so. Be bold and make the first move. Say it once. And if it's not received the first time, trust your heart where you're being led. Literally trust your heart like the owl where you're being led. Because the owl high in the mountains, in order for it to eat, it has to listen to the heartbeat of its prey that it cannot see, which is under the snow. It's the most fascinating view. Garden in the gate. You're at the gate of door to love, baby. 333 again. 333. Then you have 0. You have 83 or 308 or 803. Now 308, 9 of cups, 803, 6 of wands. Sorry, can't even say it. Excuse me, not sorry. Excuse me. Welcome, Ocean Goddess. Welcome, love. This was listen. Okay. What's up with that? Clearing out the broken heart. Yes. 3:11 on the timer, y'all. It was amazing being here with y'all. Always is. I'll be back on later on today, like I said. Because I feel like there are so many messages to be delivered. So remember, for the next 10 weeks, 3:11:33, focus on the new life that is connected to blessings, abundance, and joy. Anything other than that, say thank you, but you're no longer welcome here. Make sure you're drinking your water. Make sure you're doing your exercises, your stretches, dance. You know what I'm saying? And for those of you who really don't have people around you that you can chop it up with, that's one of the reasons why I'm coming onto this live thing later on. So that you can stay focused. You know what I mean? I love you. I really do.